people? What's going on? Um, how we doing out there? So, check it out, guys. We're about to go live. We already live. We're about to talk about it. Last night's game between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. Um, and we're gonna talk also about the Las Vegas Aces versus the Phoenix Mercury. Guys, we got two good games last night. First off, sometimes things just don't happen the way you want it to. I'm about to tell you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I did actually record the recap review of the first game between the Fever and the Sun. I actually did recap that in the 8 minute video, but like 3 minutes into the video, the sound quality dipped, and then by like the fifth minute, there was no sound. So I had to scrap that video. But by then, I was just like, there's no way I'm finna be able to record a video because I was just exhausted and tired. But here we are. Here we are. We're gonna talk about it now. So the Fever Sun, they played first. I will tell you guys before I start that I had the Sun winning. I had the Sun. Hell, I had the Sun winning this game ahead of time. I said the final score would be 90-78. And what do you know? The final score was 92-71. So my predictions was very close on the money. I was really close in terms of predicting that score. Now, what I want to get into first, because obviously people are already talking about vilifying, roasting, talking about how horrible Caitlyn performed last night. So you would think I would start with Caitlyn. But what I have to start with is that this whole team, it needs to get better. This whole team needs to figure it out. I'm trying to figure out how to I'm trying to figure out how to turn this volume down on this other phone. But yeah, this whole team needs to get better. Um, quite frankly, guys, we gotta have more effort. We gotta have more heart from players on this team, not named Caitlin Clark. Because we're about to talk about Caitlin. But first things first, um, in terms of just redeeming qualities from last night's game, I didn't see too much. I don't know what's with Aaliyah Boston. She doesn't look like she's in shape. She looks a step or two slow. Um, I'm not enjoying watching Aaliyah Boston. She got her shot stuffed multiple times. I was like, "What's going on here?" I never did turn the sound down. But I'm like, this ain't the Boston that I know. This I don't recognize her. She was winded easily, and I give her effort for going down on a post and still trying to bang and get it going. But 4 points in 27 minutes, that just is not going to get it done, folks. It's simply not going to get it done. You can't keep up with the passes. She's not even really grabbing rebounds. And so I ask you guys, what do you think Aaliyah Boston's problem is? I think her stamina is low. I think she's still trying to play her way into shape. She's never her motor hasn't really ever been as fast as I would have liked it to be. In terms of like say Asia Wilson or Angel Reese, or even if you just look at like Hannah Stokey, like she doesn't Aaliyah can't sprint the same way. Um, the boss, what's going on with you? And so I'm just disappointed in last night's performance from Leah Boston, and I get it. She's the rookie of the year, made the All Star during her first year, but she needs to probably demand the ball more, and she just needs to get herself whipped into game shape. The problem is we're already in the season. We're off and running. As much as people say Caitlin's legs are dead, she's still out there up and down the court getting up and down. So I don't know exactly what Aaliyah Boston needs to do, but she needs to find something because right now she has nothing and she's just winded. I mean, her performances are getting worse. In the preseason, she scored, what did she score? 8 and um 4 last night. I don't know. I'm gonna pull up these stats. Let's see. The truth is, Caitlin Clark won't flourish in the WNBA. Won't? You mean she never will? Are you? So you saying she ain't gonna never? Nah, bro. I can't. I can't believe that. So I mean, not when you say never or you say she won't. She's gonna have an adjustment. Um, and that's I was wishing that video went out last night, but because I'm not the Caitlin Clark fan that's gonna sugarcoat. I think as I've grown and watched her more and more, and people have been honest with me about what they see, it's allowed me to look at her for what she is great at and what she's not great at, and I try to focus on both, but it's obvious that certain aspects of her game need improvement. Her play style is made for college ball, in my opinion. Well, you know what's a great comparison? I don't know if you've seen the Aces game. I guess we could kind of mix some of that content in, that because I was gonna talk just Fever and then break it up into Aces afterwards. But when you look at Kelsey play, really, Kelsey Plum, I see similarities between Kelsey Plum and Caitlin Clark. When they're shooting and they're absolutely on. But when they're off, they're bricklayers. I mean, they totally are bricklayers. And I think the difference is Kelsey Plum has the experience and knows that she needs to mix up her game. Whereas Caitlin Clark, it's it sometimes feels like it's three or bust. And that kind of works against her. Let's be honest. Boston was streaky last year. She'll have a decent game and then bomb out some games. Yeah, I seen Boston play actually twice last year. She did. She had an admirable effort. I know that she definitely has room to work on her game. Um, Especially even in the post. But I think she's regressing. But it's too soon to really say that she is. I'm not gonna even really judge this team until I see them at least play 10 games. Whether you guys deem that to be crazy or not, I need to see this squad at least play 10 games. But I will tell you, if they're losing, somebody's job is gonna be on the hot seat really fast. Her play. Oh, I read that one. She struggled since day one of entering the league. Yeah, my thing is as it pertains to yesterday, like no Lexi Hall, right? Like where is Lexi Hall? She gets a coach's, what is it? Coach's decision to not play DNP. Same thing went for Celeste Taylor. Like Celeste Taylor showed some things in the second game of preseason, and she has a quintessential WNBA body. And where is Celeste Taylor? She's not even playing. Like if you can't score, at least bring some defense. And Connecticut was scoring and getting what they wanted at will. And I guess we could talk some Caitlin too right now because I was going to get to her after I talked about a few other players. But Caitlin Clark should not have been starting out on defense. She never should have been in a matchup against Alyssa Thompson. I mean, yeah, Alyssa Thomas. She never should have been in a matchup with Alyssa Thomas. Like, no, she can't. It's like a popsicle going against a rolling car tire. It's gonna get crushed. Like you're gonna get crushed, and that got her into foul trouble. And you know what's crazy? It's like some people probably feel like I'm just this Caitlin Clark fan that doesn't know basketball, and I'm just one of those Caitlin fans, and I don't know anything about any other players. That's a damn lie. I've been watching this game almost 2 decades and a half, and I knew Alyssa Thomas was gonna put boots to asses, and that's exactly what she did. I mean, it's what she does. She's a walking triple double. You know, if you're looking for a Lady LeBron, that would be Alyssa Thompson. I don't keep calling her Thompson. Alyssa Thomas can do some of everything for you. Essentially, why I call her grandma because she can do everything. And so, in my opinion, plus she kind of looked like my grandma when she was younger. So there's that too. But the thing is, Caitlin Clark, the shot selection, while it needs to improve, I don't see too much going on. Like, what is she supposed to do? She's trying to get her teammates the ball. The ball is selling out of bounds. What is she? I mean, Kelsey Mitchell, 17 minutes, didn't really give you anything. I mean, what the hell is going on? They think anyone who talk of Caitlyn is someone that just started watching W. Yeah, oh yeah, that's the cult fan base for you. Um, I give a lot of credit to the South Carolina fans that I know who tell me we know you're a huge Iowa fan. We know you're a huge Caitlin Clark fan. But really watch what she doesn't do. Like Caitlin is quite amazing on the offensive side of the ball. And now they hell bent on trying to take away her offensive wizardry. And they can't completely take Caitlin out of her game. But you could tell that the adjustment period for her is going to be a little process. We'll see how fast the learning curve works for her. Now, I get it. Like the boss just said, some of you guys, you feel like her game is suited for college. I admit, she probably, I mean, if she get the numbers, if she get at least like even 15, 16 points, the fans are gonna be desperate and vote her into the All-Star game. We know this. Who was she supposed to guard? Well, Malik says who is Caitlyn supposed to guard? Anybody but Alyssa Thomas. Um, Dejanay Carrington, who was doing she had a fairly good game. In fact, let me pull up the stats while I'm talking. But Dejanay Carrington, perhaps Ty Harris, who had a decent game. I mean, guard somebody that's closer suited to you in stature, unless you know there's a switch and you have no choice, and then you just get dominated or in that matchup, and you have to foul then. But I mean, she shouldn't have got those two quick fouls. I mean, that drastically changed the game. Um, I don't see anybody on Indiana outside of Alyssa Smith who has that dog mentality. Like, okay, you know what? Let me go get mine. I don't see that. Um, I like Katie Lou Samuelson, but she hasn't shown much except for she can stretch the floor occasionally. She hit 1 3, and then that's with me not even looking at the stats. Grace Berger. I'm higher on Grace Berger, but damn it, Christy Sides, for whatever reason, don't want to play Grace Berger. Could anybody tell me why Christy Sides, with her questionable, sus ass coaching, will not play Grace Berger? You know, and then again, the players that should be getting shots, they don't get them. They don't get them. And I don't know why you DNP Lexi Hall and Celeste Taylor. You know, I scratch my head. This team, Christy Wallace, she's okay. It's just a lot of dead weight on this team. Erica Wheeler, I guess she's okay. I mean, this team is basically requesting for Caitlin Clark to be Iowa Caitlin Clark, but she doesn't have the same kind of supporting cast. Caitlin's shot selection is often quite poor, and that is what hurt Iowa down the stretch against South Carolina. Yeah, I could agree to that just because I feel like she always got a propensity for her wanting to do it all, and she doesn't have to do it all the time. But if nobody else is making shots, and if Caitlin's not making shots, I mean, one of the reasons why I predicted the Sun to win yesterday is because they got more experience. Um, in my opinion, they got the better star players with Dewana and Alyssa. And I just, quite frankly, I don't see this Indiana Fever team being just as great as we would think just because they have Caitlin Clark, the coach. Chrissy size, I don't know. I don't like her. I also don't want to see Lisa Bluter coming over. People think Lisa Bluter is the answer. I don't believe so. Here I go. I found it. Let me see. So yeah, I don't believe that Wheeler is decent. Yeah, I don't know. She's all right to me, but she's definitely better than Emma Cannon and uh, Maya Caldwell. I think they put her there because Caitlyn struggles guarding the perimeter. Yeah, she definitely has. In terms of defense, in terms of being a help defender, Caitlyn's decent at best. One on one guarding, like man on man, women versus women guarding. Yeah, she definitely struggles. Why am I Caitlin Clark when I'm trying to and I meant to type in the stats? But yeah, guys, I don't know how y'all feel about yesterday's game, but about the fourth quarter, I was just out of tune. I was like, this game, it's just not it. The fever. I really think that even though Caitlin had 10 turnovers, let's talk about that. Even though Caitlin had 10 turnovers, I just was like, you know what? What else is she supposed to do? Now, I will say this: her turnovers are definitely unacceptable. Especially if she's gonna be continuously playing point guard, you got to get them turnovers now. I would have brought her to the bench. I don't give a damn what the crowd said, what the fans said. You guys got to understand, even though I'm the ultimate Caitlin Clark fan and I've went to bat for her countless times, I'm separate from the fans who just feel like they don't care. Like Caitlin Clark could, like literally, like take a pee on their shoes and they would say, "Oh, Caitlin, thank you for urinating on my shoes." Like, no, I'm not that kind of fan. I'm not going to be like a cult member of the Caitlin Clark fan base, and I'm just going to be more realistic with it. If that you don't like that, that is what it is. I'm more the mindset where Caitlin Clark has to not be as careless. That can limit some turnovers. If your teammates can't catch the ball, that happens every game almost. Grace Berger had turnovers too, trying to dump entry passes into Nalissa and Aaliyah. Um, let's see. I think I read that. Clark isn't a great passer because honestly, when she has the ball, no one expects her to pass. It was like that in Iowa. I just, in my opinion, she had better chemistry. She definitely had, from what I've seen over the years, she definitely had more chemistry with those teammates. They was more suited to her style of play. The only one suited to her style of play is like Nalissa Smith. And I'm just looking around at this team as I watch them play, and I have all three games thus far, and I keep waiting for someone else to join Caitlin at the party. Like, come on now. Like in a perfect world, Caitlin Clark would her teammate would be y'all not gonna like what I'm about to say. You know, hit that like button by the way. Y'all not about to like what I some of y'all ain't gonna like what I'm finna say. But the perfect teammate in a perfect world for Caitlin Clark would be Angel Reese. Because Angel Reese plays with unbridled energy. She runs the court. She don't stop. She's a hustler. She won't quit. Her stamina is there. Her endurance is there. Caitlin Clark needs to have a Angel Reese running with her. Who in the hell is Angel Reese on the Fever? I will answer that for you. Nobody. Clark needs a Asia Wilson who can run the court like a gazelle and will not run out of energy. And it goes nonstop. That's what she needs. Aaliyah Boston is lumbering. I watched her in her first preseason game last year. She was lumbering halfway through the season. When I went to a game, sometimes she lumbers. Aaliyah Boston is good, but is she great? We're gonna find out because if I'm Aaliyah Boston, and I know she was pep talking Caitlin because she's been down that road before being a rookie, you gotta demand the ball. But when you do demand the ball, You can't get your shot stuffed. There was one play that was abysmal, that was ugly. Aaliyah Boston got the rock and she went up. And I mean, they just ate her shot. Like they just munched, on her basketball attempted shot. Like, no, that was not good at all. That was horrible. I don't know what I would even attest that to. Like if you know you don't have the angle, you better pass that ball. For real. You better get rid of that thing. Especially when the defenders they collapsed. They collapsed on Aaliyah Boston. I mean, it was all over her like roaches on a biscuit. And I mean, she didn't even have it going yet. She shot 2 for 6. Aaliyah Boston took 6 shots in 29, almost 30 minutes. That's unacceptable. That would have been a great partner, but it isn't what people wanted to see. Yeah, I know it's not what people wanted to see. People didn't want to see LeBron James go to Miami. People didn't want to see Kevin Durant go to Golden State. If they ever have a chance to play together, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put this out here right now. If you can't get your championship, Caitlin Clark, you need to sit down with Angel Reese and y'all need to figure out how to play together. Who gives a damn who don't like it? And I tell you what, all the people that's unfairly knocking Angel Reese, they'll go sit the hell down somewhere then. They'll go sit because people don't give Angel Reese enough credit. They seriously do not give her enough credit. And I say it's okay to be a fan of both because people act like you cannot like more than one play. What the hell? Who is that? That's got to be the cult fan base that got that started, where you can only like one player. Damn it, this league is full of players. That's why I put out a top 5 video for my current WNBA players, my top 5 current WNBA players. Check that out if you haven't. And Caitlin Clark is not on that list simply because we have not seen her play. I'm not going to be biased. The average fan will tell you that Caitlin Clark is in their top 5 right now all time, and you only seen her play one game. Clark fans, we must be realistic. We must be realistic. And there's too much unrealistic going on as it pertains to like the first I seen this on Facebook yesterday. Somebody put up a comparison of Michael Jordan. They said I'm gonna say Sabrina because somebody mentioned Sabrina. What's going on, J Real? They said that Michael Jordan, his stats was similar to Caitlin Clark's, but he had like 5 less turnovers. I don't think he was really shooting threes because Michael Jordan didn't really shoot he wasn't a volume shooter from 3-point range, but he did have like more free throw attempts. But ultimately, you shouldn't compare Caitlin to Michael Jordan. Um, it's one of the ways where people are gonna look at you a little bit delusional because she's one game in. Jordan won a college championship. Uh, Caitlin didn't win any, but she did get there to the title game twice. Some people might even say the second time my Hawkeyes we made it to the championship game was gift wrapped because we really shouldn't perhaps have beat West Virginia, and we got lucky with the calls against UConn. So I mean, Jordan already got a ring over in college, and if you're gonna try to compare Caitlin Clark to Michael Jordan, you better hope like hell she lives up to it. In my humble estimation, I see Clark kind of like Kelsey Plum, and Kelsey Plum, she's a superstar, she's an all star, but it took her time as well, and that's what some people definitely tried to break down to me. Like, look, if you look at players that came into this league, it takes time. They say it even took Asia Wilson time. I think Asia Wilson was at an accelerated curve to make noise. But it is a different game. You don't come into the NBA dominating unless you like LeBron James. You don't come into the WNBA dominating unless you like um, Candace Parker. Plum so small. Yeah, Plum is so small. I love her though. From the physicality aspect, to when she's on 3-point shooting, just to how she looks. Kelsey Plum is just absolutely, oh yeah, Lisa Leslie as well. Kelsey is amazing. I just wish Kelsey was like 6'1" or 6'2", because then she would be literally unstoppable. She's so small. She definitely has to work certain angles because she gets her shot blocked a lot. Um, let's see. Jay Rail said, "I know Clark will look good against uh, New York Liberty because Sabrina and Vandersloot can't guard anybody." Yeah, she might drop 25. She might hang at 25, but I don't think they're gonna win, bro. Or sus, because you might be a sus. I don't know, but I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think they. Who on this live right now feel like the Fever could beat the New York Liberty? They can compete with them, but can they beat them? Was that way after game one preseason, and definitely after game two? Coach already, we know Vatamoni, we know Coach sizes her hot seat. The temperature is gonna turn up. It's going her the temperature on her hot seat is not going to warm up slowly like a crock pot. That thing going to be flaming really quick and fast. It's going to be like taking a match, tossing it on the gasoline. That thing is only going to get hotter. If they start this season 2-10, 3-11, she might not even be there to the halfway point. I'm I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm not saying they're gonna get Coach Lisa Bluter, but if I was Lynn Dunn, the GM, I would have some discussions. I definitely would have some discussions. Not right now, but if this thing free falls and I'm Lynn Dunn, I'm trying to get in contact with Lisa Bluter. I look forward to watching that game more than this one. Is it funny with Stewart having to defend her a lot more? You saying Stewart gonna be on Caitlin Clark? Stewie really ain't a good defender either. That's why I'm pissed off this New York team. They didn't keep Jalen Sherrod. They should have kept her. I wish they could have kept Esmery Martinez, but we know that there's not a lot of spots on these WNBA rosters. But this team definitely should have kept. And then they let go Jessica Carter, which I figured they would do. But the Liberty's problem is most definitely defense, and I do think Clark can have the ability to potentially go off, but I don't know if the Fever can actually beat them. Clark was solid with on ball defense. Yeah, I had mentioned as much about 10 minutes ago that Caitlin Clark could she's a decent, she's an adequate off ball defender, but trying to stop somebody man on man, good luck with that. And especially trying to stop a train coming at you like Alyssa Thompson. I mean, I keep saying Thompson. Alyssa Thomas, I don't think she can stop her. Sadly, I don't see Indiana Fever winning until week 12 or 14. Dream or Mystic. I don't think, nah, it ain't going to take that long. They did have a 17. What they have? I don't feel like exactly looking that up, but I know they lost like 17 games before Leah Boston got there. The year before last, they had lost like 19 straight. This organization is trash, and they trying to change their culture, and we know that mostly don't happen overnight. For the most part, teams don't change their culture overnight. They have a rough because even look at Victor Wembanyama in the NBA. They ain't able to change their culture overnight. And he had a great season and won Rookie of the Year over Chet Holmgren. But you don't see Victor Wembanyama in the playoffs. They have a rough schedule to begin, bro. I'm gonna need to look at their schedule. I'm gonna need to check it out. Um, who said I think they winning versus Liberty? I don't see that at all. This is a team that can compete, but I think in the end, other teams they just know that if they stop Caitlin Clark to a degree, things are gonna go very awry, which leads me to look at these stats. So Leah Boston, 2 for 6, That's trifling. Aaliyah Boston had 5 turnovers. That's trifling. She did have 2 assists. Nalissa Smith, 5 for 13. She hit 1 3, 2 turnovers, 13 points. Nalissa Smith, she cooled off a little bit from the previous game. Is Katie Lou Samuelson just running for cardio reasons? I mean, is Katie Lou just? I actually like Katie Lou. I like her height. I like that she kind of knows where to be. If I was her, I would really practice on becoming a knockdown shooter from the sidelines, a 3-point shooter. But she only took 2 shots. She went 1 for 2. Um, very, very pedestrian. 5 points from her. Clark, she hit all her free throws. 5 for 15. Some people say 15 field goals is a sweet spot. They said if she shoot more than 15 times, they gonna lose. People just be talking. 4 for 11 from the 3-point range. That's not too bad. But the ten turnovers was atrocious. Realistically, I would probably give like 6 of them to her. Her teammates also just didn't catch the ball. She got 20 points. Kind of took her almost every bit of the fourth quarter when they was kind of out of it for her to get it going. Erica Wheeler was 3 for 3. Grace Berger 2 for 3. Grace had 2 assists, 1 steal, and 4 points. They need to play Grace Berger more. What lineup? What lineup would you say they should run out, guys? Um, the lineup I would do. Obviously, you can't take Aaliyah Boston out of the game. So, and I don't feel like Aaliyah Boston is a center, but unfortunately, I would have to go with. I also like Fat Benlay, Timmy Fat Benlay. I thought she played with energy yesterday. I think maybe Kelsey Mitchell might be working her way into form because she only played 16 minutes, but she did have 8 points. They need Kelsey. They need Kelsey Mitchell in this lineup. This starting lineup. Let's see. So I gotta play Aaliyah Boston. I gotta play Nalissa Smith. So I'm starting those two. Is Katie Lou Samuelson the right player to start, or would you perhaps start Christy Wallace or Kelsey Mitchell? Would you try 3 guard lineup? And obviously Victoria Saxton, Celeste Taylor, Lexi Hall did not play. Um, and then would you try to put Caitlin at the 2, or do you keep her at the point guard? Decisions, decisions, decisions. Let's see what y'all said. They got big bodies that can rebound and stuff. It'll be rough for teams without the size to box out against them. I think you're talking about the Fever. They got New York Liberty, lost. Storm, lost. The Storm just lost. So they're going to really be trying to get them a W. Connecticut, lost. Sky, they play the Sky. I think it'll be close. It could go either way. Sparks, they got a chance. The Aces, lost. Sun, Suns? You mean Sun? Wow, they played Connecticut like 3 times in the first. Yeah, that's probably a L. I honestly think they went and won against New York. The rest likely will be a loss. Coach fired after 3 losses in a row. Wow, you rough on them. You really rough on them. Indiana bench. The boss says Indiana bench doesn't seem any better than a starting 5. They need more production from the bench for sure. Yeah, Grace Berger. Grace Berger could be your X factor. She's the best player on this bench. She really is. Christy Wallace is mid. Um, I would start Kelsey Mitchell over Erica Wheeler. Again, I like the energy provided by Benlay. I don't know why Lexi Hall did not play, but you probably need to put Lexi Hall in for defensive purposes. Like, come on now. I mean, Christy Sides, if something's not working and they rocking off on y'all and they was hitting a lot of threes, change something up. Like, come on now. Let's look here and see at Connecticut. Let me see if I can pull up Connecticut's. See if I can pull up Connecticut. Those losses gonna be blowouts. Firing after 3 losses is tough. Yeah, most definitely. Indiana, Indiana, Indiana won 1 quarter against Connecticut. That was the third. In the fourth quarter, which it was hard for me to watch, they got outscored 14-27. Indiana really don't have no defenders like that either. Let's see. Okay, here we go. So, Dewana Bonner, 8 for 14. She didn't make any threes, but here's what I wanted to talk about. Ty Harris, 4 for 6 from 3-point range. Rachel Banham, I'm a big Rachel Banham fan. She came over from Minnesota, 3 for 7. They got hot. Dejanay Carrington hit 2 threes. And then Mariah Jefferson also hit a 3. So from the 3-point range, they was having their way on the perimeter. And Dejanay Carrington and Ty Harris, they was really just buckling Caitlin down for the most part. It's not going to be easy for Caitlin because a lot of teams are going to, and shout out to the Sun because they're a really good defensive team, but nobody's going to let Caitlin just do her stuff anymore. If Caitlin's going to do her stuff, she's going to work for her stuff. She really is. She's going to have to. And if it was me, if I'm Caitlin, I'm going to go ahead and take the ball to the cup. I'm going to go ahead and shoot middies. I'm going to go ahead and do floaters because I don't want teams to look at me in terms of me being predictable. I want to be able to switch my bag up, kind of like Tessa Johnson, and even though we talking about the WNBA, I'm using Tessa as an example because Tessa Johnson can score. She's a 3-level scorer, and Caitlin can be a 3-level scorer, and she has been, but she loves to try to, go for her 3-pointer. It's what she loves. It's her logo 3. And a couple of times I felt like Sides was pissed that Clark settled for the 3-pointer. Clark is best with that team and just have her on ball defend and let Boston help in the paint. I need to see more from Boston. In fact, I'm gonna be watching the League of Boston with a fine tooth comb from this point forward. Gonna have one eye on Caitlin, but I definitely need to watch Boston because she is looking really sus at this time. Let's see. What am I looking for? Um, I want to know. I really didn't get to watch the press conference. I really wanted to watch the pressers last night between um Indiana and the Sun, but it just got so late, and I was watching the Timberwolves get shellacked. Taylor, Boston, Clark were the best defensive trio in the preseason games, though. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying. Because I think Boston is a pretty decent defender, but offensively, where is she? And then if you look at Celeste Taylor, she played very well, and she has the quintessential WNBA body, but Christy Sides treats her like she's the plague. It doesn't even play her at all. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. Like what do you have to lose? And then maybe here's another thing. And I've said this already, but why do you have Lexi Hall sitting on the bench? And if nothing else, Katie Lou can shoot the three. So why is she only taking 2 shots? Like, man, it's so much I would ask Christy Sides. You know, she ain't the right coach. But it's just a matter of them giving her the chance, giving her the chance. Let's see if I can pull something up here. Let's see if I can see what they're talking about real quick.
So that, we're trying to, it's going to take time to figure that out. Excited for her to be back though. But yeah, I mean, Caitlin was able to get her on, her some looks and was able to knock them down. We just got to get, our spacing was not great. So we're going to have to work on that. Connecticut came in and they punched us in the mouth tonight. And we don't.
Yeah, they definitely punched them in the mouth. I don't know why. It seemed like she always hoarse. She is, you know what? You just touched on a great point. Because sometimes I can't understand Sides. It's like she's chewing on gravel or something. But, yeah, you said Christy Sides. Christy Sides, when she made that 3-pointer, I was shocked as hell. Because I don't see what Christy Sides does for this team. At least be able to shoot the ball. So she knocked down a shot yesterday. I was shocked. I've never been more shocked in my life to see Christy Wallace make a 3. I wonder if she can shoot more of those. They need Taylor and Hull for being spot-up shooters. She shouldn't give minutes to Wallace at all. Size is a dumb coach. Boston looking rough, but she can be a good defensive anchor since she's so big and clogs the paint. I tell you right now, if she keep playing like this, she won't be an all-star this season. All they do is pass on open threes because these folks just keep driving the paint when they open. Well, if you notice, when the opposition sends 2 at Caitlin, she kind of, I ain't gonna say she gets rattled, but she tries to force the pass out of it, and then it just ends up in the hands of somebody who probably don't know what to do with the basketball. And they infamous for missing bunnies. Caitlin's a very effective layup shooter, but even Alyssa Smith can miss bunnies. Aaliyah Boston has missed plenty of bunnies, and they need to work on that. You can't be doing that as a big, as a guard. I understand it, but as a big, you need to be putting the ball in the basket. Because if you look at it, Kalia Copper, she missed a layup in the Aces game for the Mercury in the Aces game yesterday. And if she makes that layup, it could have been a 3-point game. Their rotation, the ball rotation is horrible for the Fever. Let's see, because I don't want to watch the whole thing, but I want to see if she's talking about something that I want to hear.
A lot of practice time for our next one, so we'll be in the gym tomorrow watching a lot of video, trying to figure out how not to turn the ball over 25 times.
Damn.
Christy, kind of going off that last point with the turnovers when it came to Caitlin in particular, was it stuff that you thought she was rushing? Was it stuff that Connecticut was doing? I know they obviously doubled her. What did you see that made it so difficult for her?
Yeah. We've got to help her out. We've got to do a better job of coming back to the ball. We worked on that a couple times.
Yeah. So if that's the thing, then stop watching. Stop watching Caitlin. Look, if everybody want to watch Caitlin Clark, get their ass off this team. And y'all know I don't really cuss on this channel. But look, if everybody want to watch and wait on Caitlin Clark, get their funky ass off this team. You need players who could be like, you know what? Caitlin Clark can ball, so I'm going to ball with her. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to run. I'm going to be ready for outlet passes. She's sprinting. I'm going to be sprinting too. She can shoot. Guess what? If I get left open, I'm prepared to knock the shot down. Celeste Taylor, use her. Vatamoni, you spitting facts. Get Taylor in the game. Defensively, she's going to give you something you don't have. And if you look at Lexi Hall, she can be hit or miss, but she's going to shoot the ball. I need to see more from this team. Otherwise, they're going to be right back in the WNBA draft. I'm serious. They're not going to make the playoffs if they play like they did yesterday. Now, make no mistake, the Connecticut Sun, they are a playoff team. I'm telling you guys the truth. They're a playoff team. And so, you recognize and you realize that for real because they are. But they shouldn't have been beat by what? 21 points? I had them losing by 12. They shouldn't have been beat by 21 points because that just shows that they were not, defensively there. Wallace and Berger were bad defensively and didn't switch so well. I don't know what Wallace provides. Grace Berger she's a pretty good defender. I like Taylor and Hull spot up shooters, stand where they are so they can shoot. Just have Katie Lou set screens and then get ready to catch the ball and then swing to the open play on the corner and run, waiting for a pass. I wish you bring up a point because I wish that Katie Lou was more of a player, and this is pretty much who she always been. I kind of compare her to Madison Layden from Purdue, who didn't go and try to play pro ball, but when she was in Purdue, Madison Layden, shout out to her sister McKenna Layden, all she did was just stay out by the 3-point line. And for the most part, that's what I get from Katie Lou. She doesn't seem like somebody who wants to be on the post. She doesn't seem like she's a cutter. She just seems like she just wants to linger. She wants to be out by that 3-point line. And if you're only taking 2 shots, that ain't going to cut it. Boston ain't going on defense and just a rebounder on offense. She was traveling. Yeah, she travels a lot. She's really playing clunky right now. Her game is really, really looking clunky. I hope she has a good performance the next game. Let's see.
Several times this week, just knowing that was going to probably be what they were going to do, both on her and possibly E-Dub and Kelsey if she played. I wouldn't say 20 points is keeping her down, but she's
let's see this before I jump on to the Aces. Let me see. She about to say something about Caitlin. So let's see what Christy, I almost forgot her name. Let's see what Christy has to say about Caitlin.
Double teams.
Front row to right to Chloe all the way. Dejanay Harrington shut down Caitlin pretty well tonight. Just what did she do well, or how can you use that to learn through film with coming up?
Yeah, I wouldn't say 20 points is keeping her down, but she can learn. Dejanay's an athletic guard, and they have a game plan against her, and it's just going to take some time for her to to figure that speed and quickness and physicality out. It's something she's not had. So we tried to rep it and mimic that at our practices with our practice guys as much as we could, but it's just not the same. So that just some timing for her of just having those reps.
Now I made a comment. Actually, I made a post. But I said that Caitlin Clark is going to be A-OK. But it's just going to take some time. It's a process. And a video that I wasn't able to quite put out due to technical issues late last night. It's just a process for Caitlin Clark. Learning how aggressive, how physical they play, knowing when to get the ball out of the double teams. Caitlin Clark's a really nice player in terms of handling the rock, but she can get careless with the rock. If she gets careless with the rock, she's going to have more turnovers. She averaged 5 turnovers for the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's somewhat of a glaring problem. And if she's going to play the point guard spot, she's going to have to limit her turnovers. She's going to have to make quicker decisions with the basketball. Um, and also, the Caitlin fan base just has to chill. If Christy Sides wants Caitlin to get rid of the ball in like what was it, 1 second, 0.5 seconds, at least give it a shot. I would be the kind of player that would give my coach a shot. I would. I wouldn't before I decide to do things my way. Even if my coach was Humpty Dumpty, I'm gonna give him a shot. Let's see. Teams are ignoring whoever sets the screen versus Clark and stuffing her. So she just needs to make a pass over that screener, and then she can make an open shot or pass to a corner shooter. Easy fix. But then they got to make the shot. Then they definitely got to drain that shot. Not all the time because nobody's gonna shoot 10 for 10, but at least some of the time. You gotta have production from the other players. It's essential. It's a must. Chip in. If I'll say this to the chat and to you, Vadamoni, look, if Kaylin could get at least 15 to 20 points, definitely from at least two teammates, that would be awesome. I mean, that's what I think. Aaliyah Boston, could you get 15 to 20 points? Could you alleviate some of the pressure that's coming from the defense upon Caitlin? Every team ain't gonna play defense like the Sun did, but most teams in this league are defensive minded. And so, Nalissa Smith, can you get us 20? And then someone else. Here's the biggest problem. Y'all tell me, can anybody on this team outside of Caitlin Clark score 20 points consistently? Hmm. Is Kelsey Mitchell healthy? Because I know she can score, you know? Ooh, them shot clock violations. You brought that up. Something I probably would have forgot. That was quite a train wreck. This team ain't as good as we think. Um, I cannot believe I was thinking about leaving my aces because I'm a Caitlin fan, and most Caitlin fans followed Caitlin straight to Iowa. Me, I have my ties and my loyalties to the Aces first, and so I was like, nah, I'm not just gonna put my team down and run after Caitlin Clark like the whole world. I'm gonna stay with my Aces. Um, it was the right decision. I don't doubt it. I don't regret it. Which I'm about to actually talk Aces before I get out of here because I only want to give myself like maybe 20 more minutes tops to talk. So I'm going to kind of switch over to the Aces. But before I do, let's see. Clark missed that layout. They got the rebound. The same thing can happen. It's a big team. I, I just will fix their poor lineups. I think Jonquel Jones. I think Brianna Stewart. I think they gonna eat against this Indiana front line. I just do. And then Sabrina and Caitlin, they might cancel each other out. Uh, let's see. It's better offense than dribble, travel in the post like they keep doing. But let's see here. So the Mercury, they take the L to the Las Vegas Aces. My Aces start the season off at 1-0. It was not an easy game. I will say that the Aces got off to a brilliant start. Brilliant start. Everything was popping and sizzling. Asia Wilson had a hell of a first quarter. But somewhere in that second quarter, the Phoenix Mercury said, we here too. And the Mercury they look like a much improved team. The ageless wonder, Diana Taurasi, she had a good game. Kalea Copper, she's a good 2 or 3 option for you. She's a good second or third option for you. She had a good game. Rebecca Allen had a good game. Natasha Cloud had a fairly good game. So Phoenix is better. That's the first thing I'm gonna tell you. Phoenix definitely looks better, even without BG. Now, when it comes to the Aces, I'm gonna say this: you can't have Asia Wilson doing absolutely everything for you because as great as she is, there's a chance that her stamina and endurance, at some point, at some point, is probably gonna take a little hit. Not a heavy hit, because we know Asia is conditioned and she's built for this. But you don't have, you can't really take Asia Wilson out the game for too long. And like Vadamoni says, they don't really have a bench. Now, Kia Stokes, good on defense, pretty good rebounder. I'm more shocked that she made those free throws because Kia Stokes is like a 51% free throw shooter. So I'm more shocked that she made those clutch free throws late. I really am. I'm more shocked by that. But in my opinion, this team, if Asia has a bad game, we might lose. You know, and that's just a fact of the matter. So let's look at these stats since I got them up. Let's see. Asia Wilson, 30 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Um, she don't have a 3-pointer. So let's stop. Damn, the screen going out. I'm gonna have to make sure I put more time on the screen so it stays on longer. But she needs to stop shooting threes because she don't have that dimension of her game yet. Kelsey Plum, 19 points. She had to work for him. Jackie Young, 23 points. She definitely had the Sun, got the best team in the league. We just getting started. So I don't know that to be true. But like you say, let's see, the bench. They didn't play. So let's see. Kirsten Bell. Kirsten Bell has got to go. When it's time for expansion next season, guess what? Kirsten Bell is the first person I'm putting on the list for the expansion teams. Y'all can have her. Sydney Colson, 2 points in 12 minutes. Good activity, but didn't really do too much. Megan Gustafson, 5 points in 15 minutes. She did make a big three. This team is top heavy. Who's that remind you of? When I say this team is top heavy, it reminds you of the New York Liberty. It really does. Because the Liberty are another team that counts on their starters. And Chelsea Gray is out too. The Aces, maybe we not as good as I think we are. Maybe we not. Maybe we not as great as I think that we are. Mercury look like they can beat the Aces if healthy. They're missing like 2 starters. Yeah, I agree with that because I think they can win probably in the regular season matchups. I think it's gonna be a dogfight if they had to meet in the playoffs. And from what I saw last night, the Mercury looked like a playoff team. Another thing that concerns me is even though Alicia Clark had 7 rebounds and 8 points, some people say she started at the point guard spot, but she didn't have a single assist. And so she also looked a step slower. We know that Alyssa Clark is 36. So she can't keep up the same energy as always. Especially it's a new year. She's a year older. So as I look at this Aces team, Um, if Asia Wilson is not on, we in trouble. We are in trouble. But luckily, we have her, and hopefully she can stay injury free. But without Chelsea Gray, a lot is a lot is dependent. Again, a lot is dependent upon Wilson, Plum, and Young. So much is. Kia Stokes only scored 2 points because she made the free throws. I don't know who's going to give you more production because Becky Hammond is not going to play. Becky Hammond is not going to play um, Deja Fair and Kate Martin unless there's an injury or unless there's a blowout. Even though I think they should get a few minutes. If the games are close, I don't see Becky giving them an opportunity to play. Let's see. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Let's see. I don't know why they don't give me like the actual statistics. Let's see. In terms of having a point guard, it's gonna have to be a committee thing with no Chelsea. It's gonna have to be by committee. Asia had 5 assists. Chelsea had 5 assists. Jackie had 6 assists. They're doing right. They're gonna have to set each other up. Chelsea Gray will be missed. In fact, I think she was missed last night. Let's see. Asia, 30 points, 10 for 22, 13 rebounds. Oh, wow. Natasha Cloud led Phoenix in rebounds with 9. And then Diana Taurasi had 23 points. Natasha Cloud had 4 turnovers, 7 assists. But yeah, shout out to the Mercury, though. The Mercury really put that work in. Mercury got no size without Grinding. No lies detected. No lies detected. Let me see here. Oh boy. Let's see what to say. It's the first game of the season. Oh, this is Becky Hammond. Becky said it's the first game of the season. It looked like it. It'll be all right, and we'll smooth some things out. Okay, she said that. Is there anything else in this article? Asia Wilson said, wait, Aces minority, 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady, WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, Las Vegas Raiders coach Antonio Pierce were among those sitting courtside. Wilson said Brady spoke to the team before the game and told the players not to worry about defending the banner, but go and do what you've been doing and execute that. And Asia said we still have a lot of work to do. We still have a lot of things we need to lock in on. My message to the team was I think we lost sight of it because it's the first game. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh wow, check this out. The Aces were without point guard Chelsea Gray, which we already know, but check this out. She's still recovering from a lower left leg injury suffered in last year's WNBA finals. Wow, that's crazy. When is her injury gonna heal? Like Chelsea Gray is still hurt? That's wild. BG was there. The Aces would have lost. The Aces would have lost. You think if BG was there? Because if BG was there, the game would have slowed down. Because the Mercury speed, you notice, the Mercury speed up the pace without BG. And now that they have a player I really like, Rebecca Allen is so underrated, isn't she though? Like, and Natasha Cloud can really hoop. So now that they have those two, they speed up the pace. Plus Kalia Copper, They really speed up the pace on this team. BG is harder to shoot over for Asia. Yeah, but Asia got some A1 footwork too. You got to remember that. Asia can fake somebody about their shoes. So there's that too. And she got a great mid-range shot. But I'll say this before I go. Asia Wilson, her three point shot attempts was ugly. Ugly. Really, really ugly. So to try to conclude this video, I'm gonna say the Fever got a lot of work to do. It's not just Caitlin Clark. Leah Boston got a lot of explaining to do. Melissa Smith got to be better. Coach Christy Sides better start coaching like her life depended on it. Caitlin Clark, give her time. I think as we go, her learning curve will accelerate. Don't expect too much from the Fever. Again, it was just one game. And then when you look at the Aces, they're going to have to ride the three horses. They're going to have to. We're going to have to ride the hell out of Kelsey, Jackie, and Asia. And what concerns me is sometimes Kelsey and Jackie can't hit the side of a barn with a power washer standing 5 feet away. And what concerns me with that is that Asia Wilson would literally have to do it all. Because I think at age 36, 37, Alicia Clark is somewhat reduced in terms of what she's going to give you in terms of endurance and stamina. And unless Megan Gustafson is going to pick it up, what can you expect? Because it don't seem like a priority for Becky Hammond to want to play Deja Fair and Kate Martin. And I can understand that because you're trying to team build, you're trying to get your players that have been through wars of attrition before to get themselves back in tip-top shape. So the priority is to win and to get your stars going. But yeah, guys, I do want to appreciate y'all for coming out, for checking out the content, for listening, for giving me your feedback, for being active in the comment section. I appreciate y'all. Hit that like button on your way out, and we'll talk next time. Peace.